Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nothing's Wrong
podcast.
Definitely like as you come in, share, comment, let us know that you're in here, ladies, because we are getting into it tonight.
Yes, we're going straight into it. And like we said, make sure you let everybody know you're in here because I know all the ladies need to hear this tonight.
Yes, definitely a topic that I think that we all need to reevaluate. Really, are we getting the benefits out of our relationships? And uh, if not, why?
Right.
We're here to kind of break that down today and definitely share with people you feel that has any opinions on the topic, because we definitely want to hear everybody's opinion on this.
Right. We all need to hear this. You know, we all need to know if we are receiving the benefits that a relationship does carry. If it's worth your time, you know? So we have to stop wasting our time so that we can like elevate in life, because, you know, it's always a moment for us to level up. And I think it's most definitely important to level up in your relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And like, it's interesting that you say level up, because
Yeah.
I feel like that term is used so much right now.
Right.
Everybody's talking about level up, you know, you gotta like, what does that mean to you?
Level up, it means like you're going on another level. So obviously you want better from what you had before. You're always getting much better at the game. You know, you're not at
Improving.
The same, you're improving each step. So
Yeah.
which is what you need out of life, is to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Let's get into it. As far as like relationships, do you think that it's important for you to deal with someone? What is the proper things that you need out of a relationship so you could feel that you're benefited?
Well, for me, it's definitely gonna have to be, I have to be like, I, I have to feel provided for,
Right.
protected, secure.
Mhm.
It has to start with the root chakra base, just surviving
Right.
methods.
Mm-hmm.
In my relationship with like a man, whereas like it's a intimate relationship, that's
Right.
you know, definitely on the top of my list, which is most women's top of the list.
Right.
We usually look to men for security. Mm-hmm. And providing, no matter you know, what state of reality that we're in, whether you're a feminist or anything like that, you're
Right.
looking for the significant other to bring more of a sense of security and comfort when you're in that relationship.
Right.
So that would definitely be like the top for me. What would be the top for you?
I think everything that you had, it's very important to have that security within the relationship, and also feeling like you're with someone that's loyal, that wants to, you know, go above and beyond for you, and just like actually show you that they care. Because if they don't do that, what's the point of me making a relationship with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are most important for me in a relationship. And I know guys, they are very particular on, like we said, on who they would love to make a relationship with, as far as being your boyfriend, your husband. It takes time for them to really kind of know. But then, you know, some guys don't have any time. They're just like, yeah, this is the girl. This is the one. She, you know, and that's why you as a woman have to level up for them to make those type of choices, you know?
So what do you mean necessarily, that since it's hard for them?
Well, hard for them because I'm not a man, but I can tell that it is hard for a lot of men to pick women to be in a relationship with, because they do want, you know, a particular type of woman that they desire. You know, it just all has to do with connection, actually, and chemistry. And like if they feel attracted to you and the things that a woman brings. So yeah.
Cool.
Also, like, when it comes to relationships, how would you, choose a particular person to, want to be in a relationship with?
What other benefits would I like?
Yeah. Does the person bring the best out of you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So with that kind of
What does
relationship,
that mean?
bringing the best out of you, they're, say for instance, you have a goal on the things that you want to do. They're there to, kind of push you to that level. If it's mentorship or financial assistance to get to that level, let's see, what else could it be for them to make the best out of you? What would you say for yourself?
Anything that I want,
Mm-hmm.
and they just want to make it happen. They want to, if I have a problem, they want to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the important thing, is like a man's position in life is to basically solve problems, to build things, to be that masculine role.
Right.
And so if I have anything that I could come up to him with, I would hope he would be able to solve that problem, or, find the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plus of having a man, in your life. Any relationship that you have in your life, it has to be beneficial. I remember
If
I
mhm.
was in a relationship, and it was every single time that I would go and hang out with the person,
Right.
I had like, a good positive attitude about it. Like I was excited to see the person. But every time I left them, I was in such a bad mood. I never like enjoyed coming, like, by the end of the time I saw them, I was not a fan of them anymore. And this would happen consistently with the person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because it was like I always wanted to hang out with them, but it was like, because I knew there was good times there, but then when I got there, it just wasn't the same, and it just triggered something in me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like I didn't realize until it happened. Like, sometimes it takes me a while to learn my lessons, but until it happened, like maybe the fifth time, and then I was like, wait, I'm not happy. I'm not happy when I see you. I'm not when I'm coming, like by the end of the time that I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't need this connection anymore. And so that's when I realized like things wasn't beneficial. And what made me unhappy is because while I was hanging out with this person, it was like I just didn't feel valued. I didn't feel like it was benefiting me. I felt like everything that I was going through was basically that person being benefited the whole time, and it was just like I'm not getting anything out of this but like what, food. um Sometimes we would go shopping. It wasn't like, it just didn't benefit me like enough. And I don't take that much. I am a little bit of a princess, but I don't require too much.
So
It's a little expensive, but it's not a lot of stuff.
sure. Yeah, right. How long did it take you to realize that you had enough of
It took me like
feeling?
5 times. After it happened 5 times, like from the beginning, it didn't happen. But once it began happening, that's when I realized, like, okay, this needs to stop. This is not like actually something I like. I'm not a masochist. I
Right.
don't enjoy pain. I don't enjoy
I don't
this.
right. And then for you to kind of like give yourself to that person and give your quality time and going above and beyond for that person, and then
Well, I
you
wasn't
go out
going
there.
above and beyond
No,
or
but you do
anything.
your
I
part,
was just doing like, showing up and hanging out. But sometimes you realize, like, if this, it just depends on what did you want out of the relationship. And when you realize, like, you got to be honest with yourself to know, like, you've been through this, you don't want this anymore, so
Right.
you have to do things that change. You can't just stay in a situation because you've been in the situation and you have memories with that person. So I feel like it's important to protect yourself and love yourself enough to know when it's done, when it's over, when you no longer need to participate in the shenanigans.
Right. I think that is 100% truth. It's like you have to
Yeah.
move on. And if you
And
feel
I
in that
stayed
way,
in
yeah.
friendships and relationships because I was benefiting and not necessarily that's the thing. It's like people want to live in the world where they believe that love conquers all. And what you realize with that notion of, I need to be madly in love with this guy and stuff, it really has to be like, is he in love with you? Is he willing to show you, like, if you watch all the princess movies and all these movies that kind of talk about like relationships, but or anytime you've been dating somebody, it usually happens with me. I have to be convinced. You have to be constantly trying to impress me to make me want to be with you, because I'm 9 times out of 10 not really that interested. Man. It's just the way my personality is.
Sucks, man.
Yeah,
they're like, I love her, and she's not that.
But then show me. I can be convinced.
Right.
I can definitely be convinced, but I'm definitely not the type of person that's, oh, he's interested. Okay, well then let's go. I'm not that girl. It's like, he's interested. Oh, okay.
There's a lot of women.
Let's see how much interested he is.
Like, because women, we do have so much love, and we want to, like, be
Are
loved.
you like that?
I was like that, like, when I was younger, for sure.
If somebody was interested, you was just like...
I was like, here's all of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, every bit of part of me. Like, I was definitely the type of girl that would just say, oh my God, I love him, without telling him I'm loving him. I'm like, waiting on the clock. Like, whenever you say it, I'm ready. Like,
right.
But
say it
like,
now. Say
right,
proud.
I would say, I love you too.
Yeah.
Just waiting on you to say it. But yeah, I never gave them that time of day to just tell them that. But for sure, I loved every single person that I dealt with. Yeah. Without having to let them know that.
I mean, and that's the beauty of once you... I feel like I love every person that I dealt with, but that's because I can hold unconditional love.
Right.
And love you.
I think women can do that, period. Every single woman.
Some women can't do unconditional love. And that comes with a lot of different things. That's like women who are in polygamy. They are able to at least give unconditional love, which I think is important to give. But you don't really get that.
I feel like they do work on the bracket of benefits. Like, I guess they will... everyone's getting benefited on what they want out of that relationship.
But that's what a lot of people don't like to bring into relationships. They don't want to make it like a business, but it has to be a business. Right. It has to be handled like something that you want to last. And so it has to have some type of, boundary, limits, structure, understanding, and it has to be beneficial.
Yeah.
And for men, luckily, his requirements doesn't take much out of you. Unless you're a lazy woman. I mean, a man, the number one thing a man always asks for is the body.
Right.
He wants his woman's body he just wants the body that he likes. Because that is just like a man.
Yeah.
He wants the body, the looks. It's very physical for a man. So, but for a woman, it's like, what do you want? We always live in the men's society. And that's why I think it's important that even for your young children, if you're, if you have younger kids, it's important that you as women let the little girl know, things about intimacy and sex and all those things, so she doesn't have to learn it from a little boy who's just guessing and going to lead her down the wrong path, because then she'll start to believe that, that part of the relationship is like the most important part.
Right.
Where in reality, that may be the important part for the male because of how he's structured and mentally, the chemicals in his DNA and his way of being is completely different from the way you function. And your primary function is to find somebody who you can feel safe with and provided for. And I feel like that's like the most important thing. And that's why I love the post that you had posted. It's like,
it was really funny. If you go back to the story, it basically says, stop having sex with broke men.
Yeah, because they don't deserve it.
And it doesn't only consist of like broke with money, and definitely money is number one, because you definitely need to provide for the woman. That's point blank, period. Like, you have to do that. That's not a question. Like, only the people who would fight over that and say, oh, okay, no, I think she should provide for herself. Okay, of course she should provide for herself, but everybody should definitely provide for themselves. Provide for your mate. Like, you have to do that. Like, what in the world? Like, if you go back in centuries or like the 60s, the men had to go work. Like, they had to be the providers. So let's not question that. And so that might be from my point of view, and
I agree with you 100%.
But hey,
I agree with that 100%. I think that it's hard for some men
because they don't have it.
Because they don't have it. I think that's a conversation for men who don't have money.
Right, exactly.
Because men who have money, who are wealthy, they don't really think of it a big deal. They're not having the conversation about 50-50. Usually men who are established in their careers and are successful don't want a woman coming in trying to be the boss and regulate things in that way. He doesn't want to strip away his masculinity. And him being a provider is such a huge part of his masculinity. That's just like who he is, that by you not allowing him to do it, you're basically stripping his masculine. You're doing him a disservice. You really are, because he can't be masculine with you. And that's the issue.
And if he's not thinking that way, then we're not talking about those type of men. Okay, we're moving on. The man needs to definitely be a provider. And that's no questions asked. Now, with that post, again, we said broken. And as I said, it comes with different ways, like broken baggage. A man coming with so much of his problems and
when he clearly shouldn't be dating. Like, if you should not be with like a depressed man.
No, you should not.
If that man is depressed, and it's just
gonna make the relationship worse for your end.
I would never want to be with a man who's, a man who shouldn't be in a relationship. And I think that people need to be responsible enough to know that they should not be in a relationship if they should not be in a relationship. So like, a man, if he's broken and he's, figuring things out, why are you going to bring a relationship into that? Because man will be in like his mama's house in the basement and then be like, I have a girlfriend. And it's like, you need to have a life. You need to figure out what you're doing. What are you doing talking about some girlfriend? Like, I know you want to sleep with other women, but for you to take what is a girlfriend? That's the thing. Ladies, don't be easily letting these guys be your boyfriend if he's not showing you what a boyfriend really is. What is a boyfriend? Like, he has to be those things. He has to be the things that's actually going to benefit you. He's going to give you compassion, companionship, at least loyalty. At least, he has to be like beneficial. When you're like out with your parents and it's like, oh, they got it taken care of. That's how you should feel when you're around your man. Like 100%. Like, if I'm with a guy and I don't feel like he has everything, that I could pick up anything in any place right now and he got it, then I don't feel comfortable with him.
So boyfriend, a regular male companion with whom one has a romantic or sexual relationship. So that's all he brings, is that? That's what a boyfriend just brings? On the dictionary.
Denoting an item of clothing for a woman or girl that is designated to be loose-fitting or slightly oversized.
Oh, the pants?
Yeah. But...
let's see what the Urban Dictionary says. A boy who makes you feel like he can give you the stars. A boy you believe only sees you. A boy who gives you that I have to pee feeling.
That is not a boyfriend.
But these people,
it's what you believe in. It's what you believe in.
This is what society is telling you what a boyfriend should be.
And okay, so then I'll tell you guys what a boyfriend to be. If you want a boyfriend that's going to be worth anything, you need to have your own specific requirements. When he says, will you be my boyfriend? It's like, okay, well, just like when you go to a job and they say, do you want to work here? And that you want to take the job, you got to know what that comes with. You got to know what that looks like as being my boyfriend. It's like, I like this, I like that, I like this. And your man should be constantly trying to impress you, constantly trying to make you feel beautiful. If your man's not making you, yes, if your man's is not making you feel good, like beautiful, not trying to impress you, not trying to like really even get to know you like that, or
he's not your boyfriend.
Like he used to be like that, but not like that anymore.
Then
and
he's not your boyfriend and you're not married to him, so you don't have to obligate yourself to stick in. Like, stop hanging in there for them, ladies.
Ladies, this is a big one. Oh my God, I know. But please stop claiming these men as your husband if they're not your husband. That is the worst thing ever. Never, ever let a man claim you as his wife, because that's his way of not putting a ring on it, but giving you that's feeling like, oh, but he would, or wifey. No, don't claim me as your wife if you're not actually putting a ring on it. And women have a tendency to be like, oh, my husband. I know, because you just got some kids from him and it's embarrassing, but you need to realize that that's not your husband. And for you to take yourself off the market before somebody even buys it, that's not a smart idea. So don't ever do that. And don't just let him say, oh yeah, you wifey. Like, I'm not a wifey. I'm a wife. I'm a wife. And that requires more commitment, more money, more more stability, more foundation. So I just wanted to say that, because that is something that I see women doing a lot. And I know sometimes it is because of, like I said, because of children. But no thanks, ma'am. No
so
thanks.
Like we were saying, we have to not hang in there for these guys, because I don't think they deserve it. Because there's so much fishes in the sea. Like, really? I'm a fish, so I know. I see. I see. And so I think, because like you brought up like having a kid, for instance, we feel like we have to stick in there for them because, you know, that's my kid's father, or whatever the case may be, or soon to be baby daddy, or whatever the case may be. But if that person is not doing the job,
right,
then why are we
I say stick in there to give the person the opportunity to step up. But once that person doesn't show up, then I don't think that you need to be staying anywhere. I
so
think
why
you
do
need
you
to be having
think that
another plan.
Okay, so they have to stick in there, right? For what? Stick in there
to give your family a chance. You never know.
I mean,
you know,
yeah,
I feel like
family is number one.
When
like,
you have
kids do need
when
a
you
family,
have a
you can't
kid,
play with that.
And this is something that we wanted to get into next week, but I just wanted to talk about that real quick.
Let us hear
it. When you have a kid, you really have to use your real discernment and not think short term. Think long term.
Yeah.
And understand that person, that man that you're having a child with. If you didn't use your right discernment and realize that this person has the capability of walking away, because men can do that, they don't feel the same type of connection, we all know, as the woman to the child most of the time. Some men, you know, do. Yeah. But he could walk away and things will be just fine.
Yeah, for real.
It will be just fine. His parents won't look at him funny.
No.
Nobody's gonna feel like he did
the woman's
thing.
Always the one
he can go get a whole new family, marry some girl, and have a child with her, and only take that relationship, because men tend to do that. If he has a child out of wedlock, and when he does have a child in wedlock, he'll then, you know, really take that family, and that will be his real family, while the other ones are just like, you know, extra kids. Nothing. Even if he had the kid first. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
No.
Men
have it so good.
They're like, well, that wasn't really my kid.
They don't have to have responsibilities. Like, they can move to another state and nobody's gonna have to have
kid.
A big deal.
Like, I'll talk to you over the phone.
Yeah.
I'll raise my child through the phone. It's so hard.
You silly goose. It's so funny when you do this.
Yeah. And it's important for, you know, ladies to really think about whose child are you having, and if that person can afford having your if that person can afford you and that child. Right. Because let's face it, being a mother, you literally need all your time.
You do.
If you want to raise a child correctly, like, you need to be there.
You do. It's not a joke. So, and then I also heard, I had questions asked where women felt like they can't move on after having a relationship with, making that choice of having a baby out of wedlock. And, they think that they don't have some women think that they don't have the options to date.
Well, you can always have options, but you got to be willing to compete. Mm-hmm. Which is part of getting the benefits. Like, if you want a guy to take care of you, to make you feel beautiful, to consistently trying to impress you and consistently trying to win your love, essentially, or be in your presence, or just wants to love you, you're going to have to be someone who's lovable. And you got to be someone who's impressive to him, someone who inspires him, someone who's, creative and sensual and seductive and mysterious and all these beautiful feminine things that we all as women have. You have to learn how to cultivate all of that so you can basically hypnotize the man into understand, not necessarily hypnotizing him, but really making him see your value. That's how he sees your value. He doesn't care that you went to school, got a PhD, and that's not what men are into. That's what women are into in men. That's where we get messed up. It's like we forget what men actually want. It's like, oh, like we were talking about last week about like the makeup thing. It's like, oh, you're wearing like all these different eyeshadows and you think it's cute and the girl over there thinks it's cute, but that guy is like, what's going on? That's out of control. And you're forgetting you are doing this to attract the mate, not necessarily to attract, other women, unless that's what you're into. But this conversation ain't for you if that's what you're into. So,
but also I think women get it mixed up because some women are thinking that, oh, I'm not really doing it for him. I'm doing it for myself. Of course, you're doing it for yourself, but we gotta know that everybody wants
people are not gonna act like, ladies, let's not act like being beautiful, it doesn't have its perks. Being something that men find attractive isn't living on the brighter side of life.
So I think
you get a lot of perks because of, being attractive to men. Yeah. You don't get perks like that being attractive to women. Like, usually if it's a woman that's dealing with something, you got to play to her really, really nice ma'am side for her not to like hate on you. But a guy, it's like, oh, this is easy. Yeah. You're not really like...
It has to do with smiles and happiness and confidence. Like,
femininity.
Right. Kick into that and then look what happens. Like, you have so much options. More people are saying good morning to you. More people are just acknowledging you because they can see that there's something in you that like makes them want to, continue to get to know you or even bump into you. So it's all about feeling good about yourself. And like we said last show, we were trying to elevate women on better tactics on improving their self, leveling up, like from nails to makeup to hair to the clothes that you wear. So this all can come down to having benefits in your relationships. Because if you have that package of like feeling yourself, you're at the weight that you want to be in, or you're just getting dressed up all the time, you're smiling good, feeling that feminine role.
And on top of that, I think you also have to be smart in the people that you date. I feel like women get messed up on the people, the type of person that you need to date. Yeah. So say if you're like a 8, you need to be dating a guy who looks like an 8? Like in looks. Okay. Say you're like an 8 in looks. You need to be dating a guy who's like a 5 in looks.
Looks are not important, ladies.
Your main priority with the guy is for you to look better than that guy. Right. If the guy looks better than you, then you got it all mixed up on how you're going to...
You're going to have a lot of women
after your man. That's an issue. So you definitely want the looks to be, you look way better than him, so he can always feel, attracted to you because you definitely look better than him.
Right.
So I know some ladies have an issue with like the looks department, like, oh, I don't want to be with the ugly man or anything like that. But if you guys look at society, like, it doesn't matter if the guy is ugly, because if he's with a woman who's really beautiful, he automatically looks like the man. He automatically looks rich. Okay. It's like the one thing that comes to your mind if you see a very beautiful woman with a basic looking guy, or like not a good looking guy or older guy, you're like, oh, he's rich.
Oh yeah.
That's the first thing coming to your mind. So it becomes like a status symbol, which I know it's like a trophy thing, but it's necessarily like it's a way to also like protect yourself.
Right.
And on top of that, it's even like with the age thing. It's like you gotta date smarter, ladies. When you're in a relationship with a guy and you're at the same age as him,
you're gonna have problems. It's not going to be, he doesn't get it yet. Remember that he's like, how many, 10, 15 years younger?
Or like 10, 15, yeah.
Right. So if they're like 22, they're actually 12 years old. You know?
Right.
So remember that.
But if they're even 32, you have to realize they're 22. If they're 42, they're only 32. So if they're 52, they're 42. Which sometimes it's around that 50 to 45 range where they're like, oh, okay, like they already settled in their career, because that's another thing.
That's
you want to have a provider, a guy who's still building up in his career, even if he's a doctor or lawyer. At 32 years old, he's still building up. He's still trying to be partner. He's still trying to get out of his fellowship and stuff. He hasn't reached the part where he's actually able to provide for another person yet, or a child. Right. So ladies, if you're in like your mid to late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, and you're looking for like a husband, a man that's actually, a provider and able to maybe have you have a child, stay at home, give you that lifestyle that you're able to be comfortable in, then you got to look to a guy who's already settled in his career and also mature enough to want that with you. And by that time, you'll be the younger, hotter wife, because like I said, you don't want to be the first wife. Like, unless he's older and he married like older, like he's like, okay, 30 something, 40 something. But if you're like marrying the guy and you're his first wife and you guys are young, you have a big possibility, and this is a big possibility, of him going to find, like, when things mess up in 10 years and your kids are like 10 years old or whatever, and he decides you guys are done with this relationship, he has a more better chance of going out there and getting some 22-year-old and her being the next wife and the next one that he actually takes care of, and you're the one who's sitting on this side with your kids having to deal with like the backlash of all of that and all of the trying to find another man to fill that role and stepdaddy and all that other stuff. It's a whole mess. So you have to like date and choose the person wisely now, so you don't have these issues, because it's a big thing.
So I'm going to be on the other end. You know me, I want to be controversial.
Let's hear it.
So what if I'm not looking for a guy that's old and
he doesn't have to be old, but older.
Okay, I'm not looking for older. Okay, see,
a man who's the same age, and
well,
get ready to build with him. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a situation where it'll be equality. It'll be something like you want to build with this guy. You want it just depends on how you want this relationship to go. If you want to build and you want to possibly, you're just going to have to work just as hard, and eventually you're going to end up taking some of his masculinity with you.
Oh gosh.
Because a man is not naturally like used to like depending on a woman.
And usually when they are dependent on you, they hate you. Because it's like,
eventually they'll hate you because women will hold it over you because she doesn't feel 100% safe. So she's going to feel like she has the right to say something to you about it. Like if a man is not providing for a woman, she automatically has the right to, say something.
Right.
I mean, these benefits, it really comes down to, for women, it's like I said, it's that provider factor. Is that man able to provide? Is he doing anything and everything he can to provide? Is he like, even if he doesn't have like a high paying job, he should be working 2 to 3 jobs, trying to make sure
8 hours a week.
Yeah, like men should work. Like you should never see or be with a lazy man. That is the worst man to be with, because
how's he supposed to, like, I'm sorry to interrupt. How's he supposed to save for his, see, this is the thing that I tell these men as well. Like, if you're not ready to build a family, build a relationship, don't date.
Right.
Don't date. You have to be able to provide.
You could date. Don't be committed to anything.
Yeah, date for sure. Because I know you guys, you're very hands-on with the intimacy thing.
Yeah.
I know you need it. I know it's important. Go do it. But don't commit to a relationship and really commit to a relationship where you can't be a provider. Like a woman needs that in her life. Like, why is there a father? If you have a father in your home, isn't he the provider?
Right. If you go out with your, like I said, if you're out with your parents, you automatically feel like everything is taken care of because I'm with my parent. And I feel like that's the same thing when you're with a man. And even if you take it to like, even times, well, even now, traditionally, like I just watched a Romanian witch wedding, and the parents of the groom, they paid like tens of thousands of dollars for the bride to their family. Like so they still understand the importance of having the woman come in to the family, having the woman, because she's the one who bears the child. She's the one who's able to take care of those things. She's the one who's more creative and in touch with spirituality. She's the one that brings in like the life part of life. So it's important for, that to be in a man's life. And if he doesn't know and you don't know, he's gonna get you every time. So it's like, women, we need to know our worth. And the main thing, if you feel like you're not receiving any of these benefits, then it's time for you to look within yourself and really start practicing some self-love.
And so we have a little tips for you guys in regards to self-love. Number one thing that you should do in regards to self-love is see what you don't like about yourself. What is it that you don't like?
Right.
Write it down and really get to the nitty and gritty of what you don't like about yourself. And so once you do that, you start clearing the things out and feeling like, okay, you know what? This is what I need to fix about myself. This is what I need to fix about myself.
Right.
I need to stop doing this, or, kind of get through that. And so once you start working on that, then you feel
self-love.
Exactly.
That's the easiest, cleanest way to do it. And not wasting time
on the things that you don't like about yourself,
because it's you. Because it's you, and it becomes what you decide you don't like about yourself. If you say, you know what, I don't like the way I look naked, then you actively every single day working on that makes you build up that self-love, because you're doing something for yourself. You're fixing the things you don't like, and that will make others see the value in you as well. I think that's like so important for you to know, is like people treat you how you treat yourself.
Exactly.
And so you have to hack the game by hacking yourself. You have to, change yourself so everything around you can start to change.
Because no one can judge you but yourself. Because when someone does judge you, it's because you thought the same thing of yourself. You know what I mean? That ever happened to you? Somebody said something about you, and you're like, hey, y'all angry with them? And then you're like, I thought of that of myself as well. So don't get mad at the person. Just change the problem. And I just want you guys to know, I've heard a lot of people who are, coaches, or like people who want to help people out in regards to, self-care and improvement mentors. And I've just heard that there's no looking back, like, oh, you're in the age range where there's nothing gonna, like, you can't do nothing from here. You had a kid, oh no, you can't date from here. Oh no, especially because you have a kid, you can't date high value men. Like, those type of things can't happen for you. It's
Yeah.
not true. It has to come down from self care. And so once you love yourself, you
Like,
can
if you
present
have
yourself to any man, no matter what caliber he's
exactly.
in. So it really depends on
you
yourself.
have to gauge, like, women, we have to be very, very smart. If you
Right.
have a disadvantage, then work on that the most.
Exactly.
It's just like, if you say are back in the dating market and you're a single mom and stuff like that, so maybe you're not like the highest priority on the dating market,
Right.
then you need to boost your odds more, meaning you have to start getting in really good shape. You gotta brushing up on your etiquette. You gotta get better activities. You gotta make sure your look works for you. Get the best look for you possible. You gotta start like really leveling up who you are and what you look like, so then you can then get chosen.
Right.
And I know we choose the men, and yeah, you do choose the men, but the men choose you as well. So you have to be, choosable. You have to be worth something. And I think that's the issue, is because a lot of the ladies don't really want to do things for men anymore. It's like
it's all about them.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's a woman's time. It's the world is female, and I get it, and I'm with it. But if you want another woman, then that's one thing. But if you want a man, that's never gonna work.
No,
that's never going to work.
And I think that we did, like, the education on relationships has been very twisted, and we need to, like, kind of, that's why we're here tonight, to kind of fix that, kind of make it realize that we are in a world with men and women. So we have to combine together. And obviously there's women that want to be married, want to be in a relationship, because, I don't know who doesn't, but some people do, choose what they want. But we're talking to people who are looking to be in a relationship and get benefits from being in a relationship. Every man gets their benefit. And a majority of the men, if one thing, it's intimacy. But women, what is it that you want out of your relationship? Like, you have to really know that part,
All parties should definitely come in with the knowledge of
what they're getting.
Azari says, what up, ladies?
Hi,
Long
Azari.
time. Hi, Azari. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yes.
I know it's been a long while since you came in, but we're still here. Yeah. So thank you for checking us out. But yeah, I mean, you have to be very, like, real and disciplined with what you want. Like, don't hold back, ladies. Like, don't like, oh, well, I guess I'll get a guy like this. It's like, no. Is that really what you want?
Let's not settle. That's like 1994. People back in the day, 2018, all right? 2018, you were settling, you were okay with the okie doke.
But that was because they were okay with themselves. Settling for somebody who you don't really want is so you can settle yourself, so you don't have to do what it takes. If you really, like, think about it, like, the people who settle don't deserve anybody better because they themselves are willing to do what it takes. They themselves aren't competitive.
But I want you who feel that way to know that it's okay that you feel that way, but you have to get up out of your chair and move on and do what's best for you. We always have a challenge for the rest of our lives called Do What's Best for Us Challenge. And you have to do what's best for you. There is no more accepting that this is okay that I'm here because, that person is feeding me.
Yeah.
Feeding you. Taking you out to eat is not enough, honey. It's not enough. That's not a relationship. That's just your out to eat buddy.
Right.
Okay? That's or just like your intimacy buddy. Like, are you ladies done having intimate sex with these broke guys? Like, that's what
there are some ladies that, like, I knew some girls that was like, I never been on a date before.
I know, I've heard that.
And that to me
one of
is
our listeners
shocking.
said that he never been on a date before either.
But women telling me that they've never been on a date before, that's shocking to me.
What is a date to you?
That's shocking
to me. Let's define a date.
date, meaning this person is taking you out somewhere, spending money, and
It's always money for her.
dedicating. Well, we live in a society where money is a symbol of
You won't go outside
appreciation.
if you didn't have money, right?
Exactly.
Stay home.
When a guy spends money on you, it doesn't matter how big or small.
Yeah.
That's his way of showing you that he likes you, because
he's
money
going out his
is
way.
earned. And if he's taking something that he earned and to spend it on you, that's something you automatically, well, me, I appreciate in the guy. It's like, oh, because that's something people work for. That's like something precious. You wouldn't go to work if they wasn't paying you that money. So for somebody to take from their money to give to you or to entertain you or to impress you, be impressed, be entertained, be grateful. So yes, he would have to, that him taking you on a date is to spend money on you, for him to, do whatever it is, take you to movies, buy you a hot dog, I don't know, whatever it is.
Like, if it's your first date, he should definitely come with flowers.
Okay, so spending money on you. Yeah. So if a guy is making the effort to be with you, that is a date.
That is.
And people are telling me they've never been on dates, and I'm like, dude, I literally have a date every week.
My friend, he takes women on dates like lavish.
I can go on a date every day if I wanted to.
Right.
And it's not because I'm, better than you or know anything. Well, probably know a little more than you if you ain't never been on a date. But it comes down to, like, are you, like, able to even understand the concept of why you should be taken out on a date? I think that's the real reason why people can't even manifest it, because they don't even understand why. Some women are willing to even pay on the date, and I'm like, why? What?
Who invited who? And even if I invited you, I am not taking care of the date. Like, a date,
I would
is
never.
a date.
If you invited somebody, then that means they're paying. You're paying.
I'm paying?
If you invited somebody, that means you're paying. But necessarily, if you've been out with a guy, I mean, it depends on what kind of guy you're dating. I don't think any guy that you should be dating should expect you to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Period.
I don't think so either.
Period.
So
that's it. I don't think a guy should ever expect the woman that he's dating to pay for anything. Period.
Poop. Okay.
Because I just know, like, if he's doing it by himself, if he can't do it, men don't do things that aren't practical. If a man doesn't know he can't afford it, he can't afford it. If he knows he can only Netflix and chill with you, he won't chill with you if that's not an option. He'll just hit up the next girl that can do it. And you're supposed to keep yourself available for the man who's going to do more than Netflix and chill, ladies. See, don't be that. You got to be okay with him not being able to fit the bill. If he can't do what you want him to do, don't just say maybe, he'll get there. Move on. You're only lacking and messing up with yourself. And you got to remember, you're only getting older while he can get older and still get the youngest girl.
Exactly. And he can, like,
hottest, baddest girl.
He can go ahead and have a kid and walk away and live his life like he never had any.
Right.
So you don't have those obligations, ladies. So stop wasting time with these fools. Right. And move on and have beneficial relationships.
Only beneficial relationships. If your relationship doesn't benefit you, then it's not a relationship.
Get out or ask for a better...
It's a jail sentence.
No.
It's a jail sentence. The same way, a man will not be in a relationship with a woman if he is not getting the benefits he requires. If you are not giving him what he wants, aka sexual favors, he is not going to be interested in that relationship unless he already agreed that was not going to happen and it never happened. Say if... Like, because this is the thing. If I say hold off from him, don't give him everything too quickly. You need to make sure that, he knows what you're worth, and take your time, because you're still vetting out this person too. They're coming into your personal space. Yeah. Literally. So you need to make sure that, you're making the right decision as well. So for the guy, I feel like it's, he has a responsibility to himself. Like, do what's best for you, bro. Make sure you choose the girl that's going to make us happy. That's the conversation that they're having. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing with yourself and not getting the shorter end of the stick.
Knowing that fact, be sure to say what you want out of the relationship. I think that's what we have a problem with, is that we're just coming in this relationship You don't have to be like, okay, this is what I want to. You got to ease your way into how you're gonna say it. You know, obviously you don't want to say it like demanding, but you have to kind of not waste time. Don't say it 10 months later, like, hey, this is what I want out of the relationship.
You don't really have to say it though. You women, you gotta learn how to be a feminine woman. Like, don't approach things like masculine men. And I just did this because it's just like, some of these women, when they tell me like what they've said, I mean, I've had women come to me and ask me, my advice on their relationships, and because I always had like a good, I mean, I don't make great decisions all the time, but I can at least see somebody else's situation like everybody else and give them a good answer where, it allows them to see themselves in a better way. A better way where it's not biased. I won't give anybody biased information. No. But I do think like when I hear these women talk about their relationships, they give up all of their power. And it's like, you don't realize how much power you have as a woman because we're so trained and taught to, think like a man and be like a man. There's a book called that. Exactly. And do this like a man and not realizing that who you are as a female, as a divine feminine, as a woman, as a lady, as all these beautiful coquettish sirens and all these different archetypes that are within you that you can easily tap into. Why would you want to go outside of that and go into the masculine and try to bring that in? So what women should be really focusing on, if they're realizing that they're not getting any of these benefits, they need to be focusing on the divine feminine and how to get in touch with that and how to, speak to men in a feminine way and really start... Be seductive. Yeah, in a feminine way. Be mysterious in a feminine way. Really know how to speak to these men and really understand what they want. Because, like I said, women don't know what men want. And men want femininity. Right. Men want a woman. It's as simple as that. And what that comes to. And if you're sitting here not willing to be a woman, not willing to really come out here and compete, even if you're married in a relationship, you still have to compete. You're not done because that girl who's single is looking at your man. And let me tell you something, just because he's married doesn't mean he's off the books. Oh no. Because no girl plays by that rule no more. Oh, your man's married, doesn't matter who's he calling, because you know what the girl say, because there's married men that will buy you whatever lingerie. You want, buy you lingerie, take you to a vacation, do whatever it is that it is. Not even doing that for his own life. So these women, they're sitting there, they're like, well, if I don't take it, the next girl's gonna take it. So I might as well just take it. We live in. So you gotta know. It's theirs for the taking. That's what they say. It is theirs for the taking because it's him that's coming up to them. It's that guy. And you gotta make sure that your man sees that you the prize and you're sitting right here. So he should be happy with that. So turn it up. Be here for your man. Be ready. Like, be ready. When they say be ready, be ready. Yeah. Have your lingerie on under your clothes. That's how ready you are for your man. Right. And a lot of women don't wear lingerie. And, you have to change up your sleeping clothes, ladies. We can't be wearing, what are those called? The pants and the top. Like, they have to be sexy. Pajamas. There you go. Pajamas. You can't be wearing those little moo-moos no more in the house with your bonnets and just like the ugly, like, especially if you have like a man in the house. A man in the house, like, yeah, you can have like cute little shorts or whatever you got that's you wear in the house or whatever. But yeah, you want to look good, and that's why it's important. Like men's. Let us know what men's think. They're really not asking for that much. They're not. If you want them to go and provide and be like a man in your life, even if you're going to be working or something like that and have your own money, which you should keep and always have, but to inspire that man to want to be better, you have to be better. Right. And the way he recognizes you being better is by you doing things that improve yourself Okay, it's all about self-investment. A man is gonna look at you and say, wow, she's amazing, look how disciplined she is, look at how, you see all these housewives and you see them, they're always on diets, they're always doing yoga, they're always going and doing something that's good for themselves.
Let me
and they're
tell you
married.
something. Sorry to interrupt you. When they're doing that, that's giving them something to do. Do you not get that, ladies? It's not. It seems like it's so
for themselves.
hard,
but it's for themselves.
But you want
and
something
that
to
makes
do.
the man want to be like, oh, okay, well, my wife is going to do this.
She's doing this. She's working on this, and she's doing that. Like,
there was a post of this guy. He was going around in a parking lot and he was showing all the people who had nice cars, and he was going up to them and asking them what do they do for a living. And this woman came up in a Porsche SUV and she gets out the car, whatever. She has like a Birkin, like 25. This lady's like fly, everything. She comes out the car, whatever. And then he comes up to her and is like, oh, excuse me, like, what do you do for a living? And then she was like, I'm married. And it's like, right. And that's, that's the reality most women want to live in, where it's like you literally, and this is why the whole idea of polygamy and all these things was a way of women, having being able to have a man that can take care of them and a man that can really give them the lifestyle that they deserved. But they themselves had to put themselves together, be, really something men would want. So I think it's important what you want, ladies. If you just want like a regular, simple, life and stuff like that, then by all means, don't listen to me. You're not listening to me.
Yeah, we're not actually talking to you guys. There's other channels.
That dedicated to that. But for this one, podcast is dedicated to that. They got podcasts to talk to you about sex. They got podcasts to talk to you about whatever they want to talk to you about. But what we're talking to you guys about is like, hey, if you want your life and your relationships to benefit you, if you want the people in your life to actually be people of value, then you got to level up yourself and start demanding more and learning more about yourself.
And I know you ladies are only looking for love because that's very important to you. You will eventually love this person as well, even if you don't find them attractive. It's easy for women to. You're gonna love them for doing the things that you want them to do,
right?
As far as being benefited. So it all comes down to that. There's still love involved.
You gotta want the man's gonna have to love you. It doesn't matter what you love. The women, we're easy to love. It doesn't take long for us to love. All you have to do is find that one thing in the guy that you can absolutely fall in love with, and then you're in love with him. Easy,
no problem.
But for a guy, it takes so much for him to love you. So your whole thing is to make him love you. That's all you have to do is like, does he love you? Because if he doesn't love you and he doesn't care about you, it's gonna show you.
Will he ever tell you he loves you if he loves you?
Some men don't tell you; they'll just show you because they don't necessarily want to say the words or know how to express themselves in that way. But I feel like you will see the way he treats you if he loves you, and you don't really have to ask him.
Right. You don't have to ask anything. Live
your life. Just live your life.
Live your life with the expectations.
Not too many questions.
You have. Like, you have this kind of expectations. He has his expectations, and it works the way that it works. Because other than that, if you don't have any expectations in this relationship, then usually I tell women not to have any expectations, because meaning love. Don't expect to be loved. Just expect to have experience and enjoy the experience and move on. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Don't fight for something that's not needed for. Like she says, fight for your family. Of course, fight for your family, but how long are you going to fight?
No, you fight for your family as long as there's a fight to fight.
Yeah.
Like, ladies, you got to be smart for yourself. Like, you got to be smart for yourself. Men do things for themselves.
That's why they leave you with your kids. And
we're gonna have to keep on getting that topic.
It's true,
because it is true. It's
these
like,
guys.
Think for yourself.
I know so many guys. Like, I met this guy that I was talking to, and he had a kid, and he was actually in California while his kid was back east. And I'm like, how is that you know,
right.
I was like, dang, men really don't have to be there.
No,
they don't have to be
but
there.
they do have to be there. They actually,
no, like by the
are
phone,
needed,
but like they don't need
but they
to
won't
have like the like in society, especially
it's
in
not looked down upon as much if he's not there.
If he's not there,
That's
the single
normal.
mom, it's okay, but it's not okay. That's why, you know, making those choices of wanting to have a family with someone when they're not in the caliber of beneficial, like if your kids doesn't have proper education, they won't have like, you know, the toppest schools, or, you know, having food, anything that a child needs. Like a child needs a lot, especially because you are a human being, you were a child before. Obviously whatever's happening in your adult life is because of your past, your childhood. So think of your children, like your children's gonna have to have really bad experiences if you don't have it together. So making choices of making people your family members before knowing if they can provide that, it's very hard. And guess what? It doesn't matter if it happened to you. We will do better next time.
Yeah.
We will do better next time. And just focus on yourself so that those past experience doesn't hit your present. We have to work in the present because the past is the past and there's nothing we can do from there.
Exactly.
And not making
every day
the consistent same mistakes on choosing men that don't benefit you.
Yeah. That's like women, you know, choosing men who are in jail, choosing men who don't have jobs, choosing men who, you know, don't have a real foot in society. It's a waste of you as a woman. There's a man out there that has it more together that's would have been perfect for you, but instead you're willing to waste time building a man. And this is the issue that a lot of women end up facing down the line when they're like, oh, I had all this time and I was doing all this for him, and you know, he had a girl on the side and he was giving her all the money. And it was like,
that happened to me before too. When I was younger, I was dealing with a guy that was like paying someone's rent, and I'm like, hold on, what?
Right.
I didn't ask for that. It's because
right.
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's because
you see
hit.
the game. You didn't get hit with the game, so you got played in the game, and then you're like, oh, this is what you get out of the relationship.
Right.
Like, ladies, we're trying to, like, when we're telling you this stuff, if you don't have any of it, then it's time for you to be like, how can I start getting it? Because it is something that you can get. And we work so hard to, like, you know, get into a job or go to school or do all these things, but the one thing that most people care about is their relationships. Like, that's the most, you know, thing, the most things that people spend their money on is their relationships. So, or getting a relationship or learning how to be in a relationship. Like, the self-help relationship industry is very, very booming because of that's what people care about the most. So if we as women want quality relationships, we should be doing the most to get those things. And like I said, it takes you being disciplined. It takes you being honest with yourself, just being honest and saying, I don't like this part of me. And it comes down, I'm sorry, ladies, it comes down to your looks. It comes down to your weight. And I have to say sorry because I know women are sensitive because it's down to your emotions. It comes, and that's a big thing. If you are not right with your emotions, please do something to fix that. You need to go to therapy. You need to really figure it out. You need to start investing in your mental health, ladies.
Oh, talking about mental health, I think yesterday or Friday was mental health day.
Right.
So definitely
every day is mental health day if you can't get it together. That's
number one. But I'm just only bringing that up because society said it was mental health day.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're even telling you that. You have to work on your mental health. Emotionally, women are very emotional because they have distraught from their childhood that they never
trauma. And men have trauma from their childhood as well.
That's why they act the way that they act. That's why I said they're broke. They're broken. They're heartbroken. They're distraught. They have no way of.
And that's another thing that I is one of my requirements if I'm gonna be with the guy is the man has to be a gentleman.
He has to be nice.
If the man is not a gentleman, if he is not nice, then I am not interested. I don't like a mean man, an angry man, a man who wants to make fun of you, a man who treats you like high school, saying, hey, ugly, hey, what's up, punk, big head. Keep that to yourself. We're grown women over here. We like to feel beautiful. We like to feel in our power. So if that man's not empowering you and making you feel sexy and making you feel beautiful, why are you with this little child?
We're too old.
We're too
old, ladies.
Like,
once you hit 21, you too old to be dealing with someone who's calling you disgusting names. Those are back then when you were in kindergarten, middle school, not even high school. High school, they should have been calling you beautiful, sweetie, this and that, doing the same thing that lady was asking for, paying the rent and getting out of her mama's house. So, but we didn't teach that way. I think, like we said, like, we weren't taught that we do have to be in a relationship, and that's why we didn't know what kind of man to pick, because that wasn't like a priority in life.
We grew up with listening to Destiny's Child telling you be independent, and you don't need a man for this, and I don't need you, I could do it all by myself.
All we're looking for is, can you pay my bills? And it's like, yeah, we're looking for that, but no. But
there's more than that.
More than that.
It's more than just when somebody can provide for you. It's more than just paying for your bills.
No.
It's like, can somebody actually take you on, like, as a person?
Like, I think of it as, if he can get employees, he can take care of you too.
Yeah.
Like,
that's okay. That's it. If he can be, and that's the way you become a husband.
Come on,
that's when he deserves to be your husband. Is when he can afford to be your husband. If he cannot afford to be your husband, why are you marrying yourself off and taking yourself off the market?
Right.
Unless you have very low odds of getting off the market, and then you have to bargaining. But ladies, I'm not talking to the ladies who have to bargain. If you have to bargain, by all means, get your bargaining on. But if you're out here and you don't have no bargain price on you, and you can actually drive your prices up by doing a little more, by maybe getting something fixed, by doing something different, by changing the way you speak, by, cleaning up your act a little bit more, then by all means, raise your value.
Let me tell you something that I heard, because we are women of melanin complexion. They said that the melanin woman is an angry melanin woman.
What?
So, yeah. Tyler Perry, Angry Black Woman, those type of shows. So let's put that in consideration, ladies, because of our color of our skin, we don't know how to talk to these men. We, when we have a problem with them, the first thing we do is argue.
Right.
And that's not a lie. I'm not gonna lie.
And men don't like arguing too. Men don't like arguing.
No man like argument.
Not one
man.
And if he does like argument, he's not a man. No man.
He's a sucker.
Listen to that. Oh, he's a little boy. See, this is the thing. Women think because a man reaches a certain age, you dealing with little boys. Like, some of these men are really little boys. They never grew up. They stayed at 17 and never got out of that age. So you're sitting here dealing with a 32-year-old, but he's acting like he's 16.
We already told you that. So learn the numbers when it comes to ages.
That doesn't even come with adding 10 to it, because he can be 42 playing the same little game.
42,
and that's
22.
why, if he's a boy, if he's not a man, a gentleman, a provider, don't waste your time, ladies. I don't care what kind of thing he told you and which kind of way he treats you. And women try to play like, oh, well, nobody's like him in the bedroom. You need to stop playing that little game. You're a little girl.
Yeah,
you're a
ladies.
Girl.
Can we stop that? Let's bring it back to the bedroom thing.
Okay.
Intimacy is intimacy. You can have that intimacy with anybody. Anybody can make you do anything,
right?
Especially if you're benefiting for the relationship. This man's ugly and he's benefiting you. He's making you feel lovely. He's making you feel like a queen. All these great things. Then who cares about intimacy from Dusty?
Right.
Okay. The guy who ain't benefiting you, getting you angry all the time. You got to raise your voice. You got to turn into that angry black woman. No, throw it away, because we don't have anger issues anymore, because we got therapy. And if you don't got therapy, come check us out for some consultation and we can have a talk. Hit us up on nothingswrongpodcast@gmail.com, and we can literally like chat this out if you privately want to have a conversation about how to level up. And
let's talk for 15 minutes.
Yeah, like free consultation, 15 minutes. Like, hit us up if you really want to have that one-on-one conversation
about leveling up
and how to get.
And Tone Deaf says, "I love y'all show and platform. Thank you, thank you for supporting and
we love you.
Showing up.
Thank you."
But yeah, definitely, like you said, like you definitely need to make that investment, ladies.
Right.
Like, it's important for
Talk
us
to someone.
Yeah.
Talk to someone. It is something that, like, we
And be
think
honest
that we
with
can't
yourself.
do. Black women, that's what they're saying. I don't think this is true, but I think it's like we're so controversial on what we should do in our life. We don't need to talk to anybody. We got our best friends for that. But your best friend is going to judge you. Like, you know, people are, they're not going to want the best for you because they know you. So
Right.
it's like, talk to someone you don't know, because you're actually doing yourself a service, because you want yourself to grow. You want yourself to level up. You want
I think
better
the hard part
experiences.
I think the hard part with this and value in relationships for, I would say, Black women in America, melanated women in America, but the African American community in America, the issue that we face is because there's no real tradition around marriage. It's not like, say, you go into an Indian wedding and there's a bunch of traditions. You go into, African Nigerian wedding, there's a bunch of traditions. A bunch of these different nations and cultures have their traditions, and they have a way and a reason why and a belief why, the coming together of the opposite sex or whatever is important, and how to celebrate that and the beauties of that. And they really teach their children to continue on to this culture so they can understand those beliefs and things. But in our society in America, in the Black community, whatever, girl, it's all whatever they want to say it anyways. It's not necessarily something that is given to you in your culture. You're giving a more single family household culture. You're giving more of a I gotta go and get it myself culture. You're getting more of a I have a baby daddy and not a husband culture. Or, it's not necessarily like told to you this is what you should do. And some people are able to just, do it and have it, and it's great, but are they really even getting the benefits out of it? And that's the issue. Is like, when you marry, when you get in a relationship, when you do these things, there should be clear benefits on both sides. And if there isn't, and if you're not getting any benefit from it, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? Is it worth it?
Question it. And I know it's not easy to leave relationships because you feel so
You don't
dedicated.
have to leave, but you definitely got to be real and see where you're gauging at. Right. And ladies, you don't have, hey, say you're in a relationship right now and you're with a guy who's literally not doing it, not cutting it, not able to be there. What you have to do is kind of like get out of his league. You could stay in that relationship, say you don't want to be single, but you should be actively, while you're in that relationship, leveling up. You need to be putting yourself in a better position that once you decide that it is time to leave, or he decides to step it up, then that's how your relationship is going to go. You should always, try to change somebody else, you should try to change yourself.
He's going to be like, as soon as he see you getting up every single day, doing your makeup, looking good,
right,
and you have nothing to worry about with him, and he's going to be like, where you going?
Girl, out? There's a thing.
Be out, like, look good.
Because guys, I knew a girl, she had a guy, she had 3 kids with this guy, and she was another one that would say that, this is my husband, when she was in public, but they were never married. And then he started going to the gym, and then he got a little something at the gym because she wasn't going like him. Like, she would go to the gym sometimes, but men, once they start working out, they can kind of like get a body much more quicker than really fast. Even if they didn't go all the way, a little gym could go a long way for a man.
The arm.
And he automatically just started dealing, not necessarily going outwardly dealing with somebody else, but willing to go on a date with somebody else, willing to
he's coming home late because he's going on a date,
chat it up after the gym with somebody else.
These guys.
So ladies, if you live in reality, you gotta know, like, I know we don't want to
don't do the work.
You gotta do the work.
We don't want to work. We don't
you
want to do
you
it.
gotta do the work.
No.
You got to do the work.
Please,
you got to stay on their fitness. And it's so important, especially in the Black community, especially with the melanated females in our community, you know, a lot of these women have fibroids. A lot of these women have so many health complications, and they're young. And it's like the main thing is your health, and you can be getting a lot more out of like life and your relationships. I mean, now is probably the best time to date anybody because you're literally open to dating anybody. It's not like back in the day you get killed if you talk to like the wrong color or anything like that. You have the whole world. You have social media to help you. You have all these outlets to help you get your mate, and the best thing you can do to like bring your odds up is to level yourself up and be more attractive, be more, you know, interesting. And that's another thing. Are you ladies interesting? Are you eclectic? Are you able to hold a conversation? Do you know enough general topics that you can hold a conversation with anybody?
In our free consultation, we'll give you some conversations.
Okay, that's for real. Like, a lot of women think like, okay, maybe I got the cute thing down, but like, if you can't have a conversation with the man, if you can't really like have his attention and be intriguing for an hour, like even if it's something stupid, but make it like so dramatically beautiful in his eyes. Like, you gotta know theatrics. You gotta know how to like go into your femininity and make a guy feel like, wow, like this girl's amazing.
This is my favorite girl.
This is my favorite. I mean,
you have to have them love you guys. You know, they love being around you. Every moment is an experience for them. They're gonna be like, you know, didn't like say for instance, you guys didn't get along. He was like, but didn't you have a good time last night?
Right, like, right.
Yeah. Of course we had a good time. I'm a good time.
Yeah, I'm a good time, it's like, what do you mean? We had a good time, right? Like,
no,
you always have a good time.
Remember, you're the good time. So if you're not the good time, he's not going to say these words.
Right.
Like, do we have a good time? No.
You should always be a good time. You are the good time. I mean, you and a good time is just like, men are so much easier to be around and hang out. Yeah. Guys are simple. They just want you to, like you said, smile, have a good time, and be easygoing. Like, if you're not the one to complain. I remember I was out with a guy and we were in traffic, and he was so happy because I didn't complain that we were sitting in traffic. And mind you, normally I am definitely a complainer, but like around men, like, you're not gonna show your worst attributes. What I'm saying.
Throw away that emotional feeling where you want to get angry.
Yeah, like I like if I was in the car with you, I would be like angry, like, come on, like, we got to get through this. I'm like yelling at people.
Me.
Not even you.
Yes, you are. You telling me I'm the snail.
Yeah.
Grandma.
Right. Just maybe a little bit, but you know, you don't do that when you're like on a date with a guy.
You just have the conversation. Use that hour or whatever, that traffic, as a time to get to know each other.
Exactly. And that's what I did. And the guy was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you're so cool. You don't even care like that we're in traffic. Like, my ex used to like complain all the time. And I'm like, well, if we ever get in a relationship, you will see that side of me eventually. Right. But first impressions, ladies, keep it together. Those emotions, reel it in. You gotta keep, because that's the number one thing these guys are gonna use against you. Once they see your triggers, they will trigger them out of strategic planning.
They think some of them. That's why we're not talking about little boys. Right. Little boys, they don't care. They like to argue. So
they'll argue with you.
Oh, you arguing? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You're the perfect one I want to play with.
Right. Because now I know I got you triggered. Yeah. And now that I got you triggered, I know that I have control. Right. See, this is the control aspect. If you want to be controlled in the situation and be dragged in the relationship and be on an emotional roller coaster, okay, give them all your emotions. There you go. Do it.
But when you're dating, you're just shutting that off and enjoying the moment, enjoying the time. You know, have them feel like you are happy and you're just enjoying the moment. There's nothing that this guy can do to aggravate you. And if he does, when you leave, I'm never seeing that guy again. Use that one.
Right.
Because you don't have to be aggravated.
I mean, I've left dates and I was like open and honest with myself in my own head. I've been on dates with guys and I'm like, I would never see this guy again. It just in my head while I'm on it, like faking it, like, great time. Oh my gosh, I love this guy.
Did you have a great time? What's going on?
Oh my gosh, I'll never hang out with you again. Yeah. I did have a guy tell me that. I went on a date with a guy and it was so bad, and I'll talk about this now. It's like, I was on a date with a guy. He was he wasn't a bad looking guy. He was older than me by like probably like 12 years, but he was a good looking guy. He had a good career. Like all the basics were checked off. And I didn't like the fact, I think
Does
what
he
kind
know
of
this show?
No.
Okay.
I didn't like the fact that he kind of like, I get it, like guys will always try to kiss you and always try to like make a move or something like that, but I didn't like the way he went about it. It was just like very off-putting to me because I just wanted to get to my car and it just wasn't the vibe, and I felt like kind of like invaded on because he just kind of like kissed me, and it just felt like very invasive to me. It just didn't click for me. And then I like pull away, and then he pulled me back, and it was just not romantic. It was just like, I don't want to do this.
Stop it.
And so in my head the whole time, just like, okay, I'm not gonna date this guy again or whatever. And then so I went through the process of like trying to be nice and not really saying it saying it without saying it, and he just would not let it go. He was very persistent, and he was just like, no, like let's plan a date and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I should give this guy another try because he is trying, and I'm kind of being rude, so maybe, again, if he's persistent, I'm like, I don't have nothing going on, so I'll go. So I say I'll go. The day comes, and then I'm just like, I really don't feel like going. So this is a perfect time for me to just like flake out and just, just not go. And he could just be done with me because I really am not that interested, but I didn't want to be rude. I don't know. I'm weird. I could have just been an adult. But again, sometimes I just try not to hurt people's feelings. And anyways.
Do you not know that you're hurting their feelings even more, that they have no way of like knowing what happened?
I know. So then I cancel or whatever, and then he's like, still trying to make other plans. And then I tell him like, I'm going through this, I'm like not in the mood I'm not in the place right now to be, dating, and I'm sorry that I wasted his time and all this stuff. And then he was just like, I understand, like, work is really tough for me right now. I'm super busy, but I still want to like, try this with you. I'm not seeing anybody else. I would love to get to know you more. I really feel like we had a great connection. So then at that point, I'm just like, it wasn't like anything so bad that I couldn't see him again, right? Because I'm like, this guy's really trying. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I go and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a date with you again. I'll take the date and let's hang out again. And we hung out one more time, and it was cool, but again, it just was like, I'm just not into it. And it wasn't like, he was a great guy. He really like wanted to be in my life and everything like that, and I thought that it was cool, but it just wasn't like clicking for me. And then like eventually I think he kind of realized that it just wasn't gonna click for me, because it was more of the things of his personality. Other things like came together, obviously seeing him more, and I was just like, this is not going to work for me. And he ended up hitting me with the have a good life. Like, because I mean, it was cool with me because I just didn't want to do it because he was a nice guy, and I just didn't know how to be that person to hurt him. But he did it to me, and I was like, oh, thank you.
Nice,
yeah. Thank you. Moving on.
Hey, at least you tried, because of the benefit of like, this guy is trying. He is checking some of the boxes of the benefits that I like. Right. So, that's when you can definitely give people a shot if they're hitting some of the checkpoints. Yeah. But if they're not hitting,
he was trying to convince me. He was like, hey, I'm going to try. I'm going to give you this. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I'm just like, yeah, great. But
it's not for me.
Not for me. And it's okay that it's not for me. Yeah. But I was able to... Because, I mean, men like that. They like... He could have seen from the beginning, like, okay, let me not give this girl no try. But men, especially if he's a competitive, successful man, he's going to still compete until he feels like he's done. Right. Exactly. Some of these guys, they don't listen to you. No. You'll be like, no, not interested. Oh, you don't know yet. You don't know you're interested yet.
Well, actually, I think that's lovely because it kind of shows, like you said.
Except like, when they do that in the bedroom. That's...
Oh, don't... See, this is what I'm saying. Even in Paris, we were watching things from Paris as well. They're so sexual. Everything has to do with sex. But at least they're honest. You know what I mean? And men, they are just like, there's no question about it. It's like, oh, you should know this is all about like sex is number one. You know what I mean?
Right.
But a woman, I don't know if we're sexist or what you would call that, but we like to like kind of have a way of like getting in the mood before you push on so quickly.
Right.
So men, chill out.
It's like foreplay.
Chill out.
It's like you don't want...
Women want foreplay. I don't know who doesn't want to foreplay, but women love foreplay.
Because women want to feel appreciated, and women want to be worshipped.
Exactly.
I mean, if you've ever had a man worship you, ladies... This could get a little bit of after hours, so hide your kids' ears. I mean, but if you ever had a man worship you and really show you how beautiful you are and your body is, and his appreciation for having the opportunity to be with you, then you'll never want to be with a guy who can't do that to you. Who can't make you feel that way. Exactly. Because
if you're not getting that, that is what a woman should receive in a relationship. Is like that intimacy of like really, really showing you how much they love you and appreciate you. Like it has,
and it's about you.
That is sex.
I think that is
what you call sex.
Yeah.
Because it's about you. Called the F word. And
yeah,
you're not looking to do that.
Exactly.
You're looking for sex, not to get F'd.
And I think that it's important, and what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
But remember, we were watching Emily in Paris. If you guys seen it on Netflix, it's a really great show. But spoiler alert, so a guy on there ends up buying it's a married guy, he ends up buying Emily lingerie, and then she's like, I really feel like that was inappropriate, and he was like, oh, why do you think it's inappropriate? You think it's for me? And she was like, yeah, like, meaning like he wants her to put it on for him. But he's like, no, this is for you. This is so when you wear this under whatever you're wearing, you can feel confident, you can feel sexy, and you can feel the most powerful that you can feel. Like women embracing her femininity in the most luxurious way. And ladies, that's
why I said, start wearing your lingerie, ladies.
Exactly.
Throw away the pajamas.
Being more feminine and being more of a woman is the best way to live your life.
We're leveling up in every stage. We had pajamas on when we were kids. We're throwing them away because we're ladies now and we want to be sexy. We don't want to wear matching sets from Victoria's Secret cotton. No, really.
You need your silk and satin and lace and things that make robes sexy. And beautiful things. Like
feel feminine. Even if you don't have a man in the house, it's for you.
Right.
Like you said. Yeah. He's like, this is not
because that is what is gonna attract the man to come to you. If you want the benefits of having a man, you have to be the benefit of being his woman. Okay. You have to be a woman. And some men, of course, they will have like different types of ways. But if you're going for a more mature man, he's gonna want a woman who's a woman. No matter what age she is, she's gonna have to possess that woman factor in her. Because I know, like, with men, like, I know especially with you would tell me like, oh, that guy was like, I'm a woman, and you were like, every man
has always told me I'm a woman. Yeah, and I'm so proud of that because I'm like, yes, I am a woman.
And they have to state that because it's like you give off femininity, and that's like the number one attraction with men is like how feminine the woman is. Yeah. It's like she's a feminine woman, and if he's a masculine man, he's gonna want that opposition of a feminine woman. If you're a masculine woman,
ladies, they want good intimacy.
Right. But if you're a masculine woman, you are going to attract a feminine man. Right. So it's always going to balance itself out. So even in like a same-sex relationship, you will see the feminine and masculine dynamic play out. But women, I'm talking to the feminine women who, love this feeling of femininity. I'm telling you, embrace that, harness that, and you're going to start to see the benefits come out of that. Life is easier than they make you think. And, men will try to tell you, or people will tell you, don't be no gold digger. Don't be no gold digger.
It's not about gold. Everybody's digging for gold.
Everybody's digging for gold. If you go into work, you're digging for gold. Any day.
Golds. Yeah. And they'll pay you a small percentage of the gold that they found. You found.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is like, yes, always have your own as a woman. Of course. But also, if you're going to bring a man into your situation, make sure you're getting something out of it as well. That's the best thing because he's going to get what he wants out of it.
Every night.
Okay. If he wants it,
every night, every morning,
every opportunity,
every time that he gets.
anytime he wants to, if you give him that opportunity to. And if you do give him that opportunity to, I hope that every time he gets a benefit, you get one as well.
Right.
So,
if not, then you're wasting your time. And we don't like to do that, ladies.
No.
So we're done wasting time here because we're doing what's best for us and we're definitely getting benefits out of this. So, ladies, we appreciate you for tuning in tonight. And
Yes.
guys, I know we were talking to the ladies and you were hearing all the juice and all the things that this wonderful world has to offer us ladies to level up on. So I hope you enjoyed it because we did.
We definitely enjoyed this conversation. And it's a conversation that should just keep on going in the comments, in the emails, on our social media, Nothing's Wrong Podcast, all the handles. And always remember, guys.
Oh, no, wait, one more thing. And if you would love to support the channel, don't forget to hit up our Cash App,
For sure.
$,
Nothing's Wrong Pod.
Hit up our YouTube, hit up our audios. Listen up to us when you can. If you want your free consultation, 15 minutes, hit us up at nothingswrongpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, ladies, definitely want to talk to you guys if you do want. Yeah, because I mean, we have so much to offer just off of dating or, you know, relationships, leveling up, how to be the best you, how to find your look, how to do any of those things. So whatever it is that you may need just a conversation on, may need, advice on, outside perspective, definitely hit us up. We're definitely open in here to have the conversation and help as much people as that we can, if we can. So we will see you guys next week for a next video that's going to be somewhat of close to these topics. So definitely want to be here for the next show.
Definitely get these out of our mouths and make action happen, ladies.
For sure. So always remember, nothing's wrong.